I don't know how to feel about this game, but I could try to find the words to express my feelings. But if I could use one image, one video, one thing that would accurately describe the way I feel about Little Nightmares 3, it would be this.
My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined.
So I think I need to start this video by telling you that I am a big fan of the first and second games. I love those games. If I was to rate the previous games, I would give them 9 and 9.5. The first one I would give 9 and the second one 9.5 because I think they nailed everything. The atmosphere, the creepiness, the lore, the tension, and even the boss fights. They were able to make boss fights and encounters actually compelling, and you always felt trapped, always felt like, you were those little dolls trapped in, those words. But the same thing cannot be said about the third one. I think most people will buy Little Nightmares 3 based on the experience with the previous two games, and I don't know, something just feels wrong. Listen, I already had issues with the price of the game. Let me explain. See, I have no trouble buying a game at $70, if the value justifies the price. And here's the thing, I really love couch co-op games because I think they are a dying breed, and I was so excited when I played A Way Out, It Takes Two, which in my opinion is one, if not the best, co-op game ever made. And then we also had Split Fiction this year. So yeah, I'm having a good time because I get to play games with my significant other and also my son sometimes, and we're having a good time. So I was obviously very excited when I heard that Little Nightmares 3 was also going to be co-op, but they decided to not allow people to play couch co-op. You cannot play this game offline unless you want to play by yourself because the other character is going to be controlled by the AI. And I think this alone will be a turn-off for most people because one, you need to make sure that whoever you're playing this game with has the game and also has the same system platform as you. And I think the only saving grace is the fact that only one person has to buy the game, but even then I feel like this is just, I think it's just lame. I'm going to use the term lame because there is absolutely no reason for this game to not have couch co-op. Other games were able to, to fit the couch co-op feature in their games, and in my opinion, they were more demanding than this one. So there's absolutely no reason for Little Nightmares 3 to not have couch co-op. But then that's not the only thing, in my opinion, which is kind of weird. It also has to do with the length of the game. It would take you 3 hours-ish to beat the game if you don't goof around or just waste time, doing puzzles, or don't, go out of your way to seek collectibles. And when I was playing with my friend, I was goofing around, I'm a goofball, so I like trolling, I like doing things, and we beat the game in about 4 hours, and we weren't having a good time, we weren't having fun for the most part. It's not the entirety of the game which is like this, the game has good moments, but it feels like those moments are so far in between that it feels like you are getting bored. I'm going to use the right term. We were playing online, he was streaming the game, and we were just yawning because we were getting bored, almost falling asleep playing the game. But I never felt this way about the first two games. So it's not just about the fact that this game doesn't have couch co-op, the game also isn't that fun to play with, to play, and also it doesn't feel like a Little Nightmares game. It feels like this game was made by people who wanted to make a game like, Little Nightmares, but not the people who made the first previous games. And we actually had to stop at some point to actually check to make sure, and yeah, this game was not made by the devs who made the first two games, and you can tell something's off, whether it's the atmosphere, and I feel like the game is just trying to sometimes waste your time. Like the bosses, the encounters, you just have to just sit there and do nothing. Like not doing anything in this game sometimes is like the best thing you can do. And that really annoys me because you had to find creative ways to defeat some bosses earlier in the previous games, And it feels like this game doesn't do any of that. And you also learn that the devs, which were supposed to be working on these games, are now working on another game called Reanimo. And then we went to watch the trailer for Reanimo, and we were shocked because that other game feels like what this was supposed to be. So I don't really know. I don't Again, this is my experience. I mean, I guess our experience with the game. This would be a decent game on its own. But as a sequel to those previous two games, this is very underwhelming. Very, very underwhelming. And I'm not saying that the game is entirely bad. But again, it's a combination of multiple things. The price, the fact that you can't play unless you have someone on the same platform, and the fact that, listen, $40 for a game in this economy is a lot of money. But you are willing to, to get those games because you know you're going to get value, you're going to have fun, you're going to be entertained. For $10 more, you get Expedition 33, which is going to net you about 60 hours of gameplay and maybe 100 if you want to go for New Game Plus. And you're going to have a blast because, in my opinion, this is the best game of the year. Expedition 33 for $50. And then for $10 less, you have Hades 2, which is a sequel to Hades, and that game has so much replayability that I can guarantee you that you can net 40 hours to 50 hours of gameplay, and you will just keep asking for more. For $20 less, you have what I think is the other contender for the game of the year in 2025, which is Silksong, Hollow Knight Silksong, which is going to net you 40 and sometimes a whooping 80 to 90 hours of gameplay on your very first playthrough. And then we have this game, which is 40, which is $20 more expensive than Silksong, $10 more expensive than Hades 2, and $10 less expensive than Expedition 33 at $40. This is not okay. Yes, you can make the argument that only one person has to buy the game and you can play with people via, friend pass, but that doesn't take away the issue. I would honestly just suggest getting the game on sales and just waiting for Reanimo to come out later in 2026, because this doesn't feel like nightmares. I guess when it comes to lore, yes, you can actually probably see some things here and there, but I'm concerned because if this game wasn't made by the people who made the previous games, then is the lore going to be connected to the previous games? You know what I'm saying? Like, I can remember every single encounter from LN1 and LN2, but I don't think any of those bosses here are going to be remembered. And also, something that also bothered me is the fact that the game has some type of jankiness overall, that you get stuck on your teammate often. And sometimes the bosses are supposed to have those scripted sequences where they chase you and you have to run, but then sometimes the bosses will not follow the script and just grab you anyway, which is kind of weird because there is nothing I can do. And again, sometimes the best strat is to just sit and wait. You will be baffled by how many times you just have to sit and wait for the boss to turn around so that you can go. The chase sequences are not tense. Honestly, they are not tense at all, and you will probably die just because you got stuck on your teammate and you couldn't jump, or something happened. Maybe you were aiming. And also, oh my god, this game is very dark, and they give you a flashlight maybe, I don't know, 3 chapters in, which is for me a bit baffling because, again, you would want to highlight and eliminate your surroundings to be able to tell where you're going, but the game is very dark and you don't have a flashlight, which makes it very hard to tell where you're going. And you have new abilities in this game, but most of the time, I promise you, you forget that you have abilities until the game reminds you, oh, you can shoot this, oh, you can use your wrench here. They underutilize the tools they included in the game to the point you even forget that you have those tools in the first place. There is no need to use the bow or the wrench in the boss fight. Only for the last encounter, but it's a little too late. That's what I'm saying. Honestly, the last 2 chapters were great for the game. I'm not saying great when it comes to the whole franchise. No, it's not great when it comes to the whole franchise, but the 2 chapters, the 2 final chapters were amazing compared to the first half of the game, which is just a snooze fest. Like nothing is happening unless you want to just not take the game seriously and goof around. You're just going to beat this game and you're going to feel empty. You're going to feel hollow. And I don't know why they would even include abilities in the game if they weren't going to make the best out of them. They also give you an umbrella early on in the game, which is kind of cool. It allows you to slowly fall and sometimes ascend using vents, but then they take it away in chapter 2, so it's gone now, I guess. It's gone forever. And you may tend to overthink puzzles. Like you would think, oh, maybe we need to do something complicated to go, to no, you just wait and the boss is going to move to the next room. I don't know. I didn't have a good time with the game, and I don't know. You feel free to let me know how you feel. I think most people are better off just play Split Fiction, just play It Takes Two if you haven't, and let's just all wait for Reanimo, which is not going to have anything to do with Little Nightmares, the Little Nightmares universe. But I can promise you that Reanimo is going to be a banger. And this, whatever this game is, LN3, is I think it's just filler until we get the main event. Anyway, let me know what you think about the game, what your experience is, and yeah, I don't know. Bye.